everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today is the 1st of September. It is a new week, it is a new month, it is a new season. Today is the first day of spring and I am just so excited for the entire month ahead. My husband and I decided to do this little health reset slash challenge, I guess, for the entire month of September. So I thought that I would vlog it. A few of the rules, I guess, that we've made for ourselves. Number one is that we are eating a paleo diet for the month. With that, we are eating gluten-free and no refined sugar either. Our next rule is no phone within 1 hour of waking up or within 1 hour of going to bed. And then we just have to go for daily walks and to work out 3 times a week. I am so excited to be doing this little health challenge. I guess that's what we're calling it. We have just been doing a lot of research lately on what is good for our body and I guess the optimal diet for humans. We have also been praying about this a lot and we both feel like the Lord has been convicting us of some of our lifestyle and eating habits. So we just wanted to do this little detox or health reset, I guess, to see how we feel by the end of the month. A few things that I'm going to be keeping an eye on over the month-long period is my skin. I'm really excited to see how all of this impacts my skin. I feel like my skin has been really up and down over the years. I'll actually put some pictures up on the screen of, I guess, what I've dealt with in the past. So yeah, I'm really excited to see if this has a positive impact. Another thing that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is my menstrual cycle. I feel like my period is actually pretty irregular. My cycle variation is about 12 days, which means that basically it could come between day 28 of my cycle or day 40. I kind of have no idea when during that period it's going to come. And yeah, I just don't really like that. So I'm wondering if changing my diet will have an impact on my menstrual cycle as well. I have actually just finished my period, so I think I'm on day 6 of my cycle, which I feel is just the perfect time to start this little reset. Another thing that I'm going to be looking out for is my hair. I feel like the past few probably months I've just noticed that I need to wash it a lot more frequently. It kind of gets oily between day 2 and day 3 now, and I don't know, I used to be able to go probably, I would say 6 or 7 days without washing it, but now I look like a grease ball much sooner than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing just how it impacts that, or if it does have any impact. And then another thing which both my husband and I really don't mind about is our weight. We're just going to be, I guess, checking our weight at the start of the month and checking our weight at the end of the month. I kind of want to reiterate that we are definitely not doing this for the purpose of weight loss. It is truly the last thing I care about. I'm more just interested in the study behind it and seeing how this impacts whether we put on weight or we lose weight. So we weighed ourselves this morning and we'll weigh ourselves at the end of the month as well. Another reason that we wanted to do this challenge is because we're just finding ourselves feeling, I guess, more tired than we should be. We're only pretty young, so for context, I am 23 and my husband is 25. But yeah, I find myself getting 8 hours of sleep every night and then waking up and I'm still tired. And my husband will come home from work and fall asleep on the couch pretty early most nights. So I'm excited to see how it affects all of our different levels, whether it be energy, our emotions, or anything like that. I also want to mention that we actually don't eat that unhealthily now. I do like to stick to a relatively natural diet, I guess. I always meal prep and meal plan, and I cook hearty dinners and that sort of thing, but I think just some of the ingredients that I'm using may be affecting us in a negative way. So I guess that's why we wanted to just change it up a little bit. We very rarely eat fast food as it is, but I guess I just didn't realize how much refined sugar is in every single thing that we consume. It is crazy. For probably about the past week, my husband and I have been slowly taking stuff out of our pantry and replacing it with healthier options. And then this morning we just did a massive purge of our entire pantry and our fridge as well. I also just had some groceries delivered for the week, which I get delivered every Sunday, so I'll show you kind of what we're working with. This is our pantry and I wish I filmed a before shot, but I forgot to. So a lot of the Paleolithic diet is kind of what our ancestors would have eaten. So it's a lot of fruit, nuts and meats, and a lot of just whole foods, I guess. No refined sugar, which I did mention before, and I actually believe that it's no dairy either. So these are some of the ingredients that we have. We have some sugar-free chocolate chips, hemp seeds, nutritional yeast, flax, chia, coconut sugar, and then for gluten-free flour we have almond and coconut because I like to do a lot of baking. And then over here we just kind of have ingredients, onions, then we've got some bananas, some ginger and garlic, almond and cashew spread, super greens from Nutra Organics, avocados. This is coconut oil. We poured it this morning and I'm waiting for it to harden. Then we've got lots of nuts and seeds, pure maple syrup as a sweetener, and also honey as a sweetener as well. Then in here we just have some almond milk, some sushi sheets, these cauliflower puffs which are gluten-free and refined sugar-free, these smart sweets which are gluten-free and no sugar added, and then some gluten-free pasta as well. Hello friends, it has been a few weeks since I've sat down and talked to the camera, so I thought I would give you guys a little update as to how this challenge has been going. I've taken some notes on my phone. There have been a few major differences that we, meaning my husband and I, have both noticed in our bodies, and so I just wanted to talk through them with you. I haven't filmed really up until this point because the first probably week, maybe a little bit longer, was honestly really intense, and I didn't expect it to be, so it definitely took me by surprise. Both my husband and I had headaches on days 2 to 5. Neither of us really get headaches, so it definitely was very weird and different, and they were very intense and strong headaches as well, so that was crazy to deal with. I assume that was kind of our bodies withdrawing or going through like a withdrawal, I think, maybe, of sugar and gluten for the first probably 10 days, I would say. Again, in the first week, along with the headaches, I was so dizzy all the time. There was actually a point where I was at work and I lost my balance. That was weird. I don't know if that's normal. I really just feel like it was my body detoxing. So yeah, that was very weird. I remember I would lean over and I just felt so sore and so dizzy, almost like that feeling that you get right before you're about to pass out. So that definitely took me by surprise. But yeah, the headaches were very intense, but they started dying down in week 2, which I was so grateful for. It also didn't matter what we did. It didn't matter whether we had eaten a meal or drank enough water or anything. We were both just so headachy. I have a note here for Ezra's first 3 days. So it says that in his first 3 days he had hardcore sugar cravings. He would finish his main meal and all he would want was like an apple pie or chocolate or lollies, just something really dense and sugary. I don't think I really experienced too many cravings like that, but I thought that was interesting. We are now in week 3, and one thing that I can say is that every single time I eat, I find myself feeling full, but also actually satisfied. I don't know, I just don't think I ever really had that feeling of satisfaction when I was eating sugar and I was eating gluten. I would pretty much always go back for seconds and I would be so full, but my body, I don't know, just felt like it needed more. So I didn't have that meal satisfaction at the end of my eating, whereas now I do. So that has been a very vivid and noticeable change, and I thought that that was really interesting. Another change that I have found is that I'm actually not getting incredibly hungry anymore. It really feels like my hunger levels, yes, they come up and down a little bit, but for the most part I really feel like they're pretty steady, like if you imagine a graph. Whereas before we started this diet, I felt like I would be ravenously hungry right before every single meal, and then I would eat and my hunger would go down, and then right before the next meal I would just be so hungry. So I really felt like the dips were a lot more evident when I was eating gluten and sugar. Now I guess I just find that I'm not like constantly thinking about where my next meal is going to come from, which again, I don't know if that was normal, but truth be told, that is how I was feeling before. I was just so hungry all the time, never feeling satisfied with my food, and I actually didn't realize that until I started this challenge, and I realized that that probably wasn't normal. Another thing that I've noticed actually is that I'm not washing my hair as much, which I did think that it would have an impact because I think I mentioned it at the start of the video, but it's actually been really interesting to see that my hair just isn't getting as oily as quickly. I'm pretty sure I I'm on day 2 or 3 and my hair still looks like it's been freshly washed, so I'm very happy about that. We've been eating such yummy meals and I've been really enjoying getting creative in the kitchen. Some of the meals that we've had include taco bowls, cauliflower chicken soup, Korean beef and broccoli bowls. I don't know, we've just had such a variety and it's been so interesting cooking with different ingredients. I really loved it. Aside from that, we've pretty much just been walking every day. We'll go on a walk around our block, or in our neighborhood rather. All the neighbors know us now because we always say hi. And yeah, we're just feeling super active, super motivated. We're finding that our energy levels are a lot more stable than what they were as well, similar to how I was describing the hunger. But overall, we are just truly loving it, and both of us are actually saying that we cannot see ourselves going back completely. I'll talk a little bit about how we are wanting to change things in the future after this month is over, but I'll do that at the end of the video. I think those are pretty much all of my updates, so I might leave it there, but I'll check back in a few days. Something that I have really noticed helps a lot with this challenge is to pretty much always have some sort of snacks prepared. So I am just gonna spend the afternoon baking and I'm so excited. This morning I just prepped us both some chia seed pudding because we love having that with raspberry chia jam or just any other fruits in general, and these are just so easy and quick to reach for if we need them. But right now I'm going to bake some cookies. These are yummy, healthy and paleo as well, made of natural, very wholesome ingredients. So I will link the recipe that I used down below. I've made these once before and they turned out so yummy, so I'm really excited to do it again. I'll put a screenshot for everything that you need up on the screen here. I am gonna half this recipe just because I used that amount of things last time and I found that we had cookies for weeks. I've already preheated the oven. It says 375 Fahrenheit, which is about 190 degrees Celsius. I have everything all laid out and I'm ready to go. So I got the cookies out of the oven about 20 minutes ago. They are mostly cool now, so I wanted to do like a little taste test for you guys. This is what the inside looks like. It is just so beautiful and light and fluffy, and I just know that it's gonna taste so good. The whole house smells so lovely as well, which is actually my favorite part about baking. Okay, let's try. I cannot explain how good those actually are. I wish that you guys could smell my house and taste how good they are, but you can't, so you'll just have to trust me. If there is one thing you do this week, please let it be to make those cookies. As I mentioned earlier, the link for them will be down below. Okay, so we have only got about a week left of this little challenge, but the other day Ez and I actually realized that we ate gluten. Oh my gosh. Once we knew that we'd eaten gluten, we wanted to observe our bodies and just see exactly how it felt. Apologies, I had to move the camera because one of my neighbors decided that it would be the perfect time to start doing their lawn maintenance. So that's fine. I hope that you guys can just tune it out. But anyway, as soon as Ezra and I realized that we had eaten gluten, we just wanted to be super observant about how it made our bodies feel. So I wrote some points down as to how we were feeling after we ate that gluten, and I just thought that it was so interesting to see because we haven't felt this way the entire month, and then the one time we eat gluten, this happened to us. The main thing that we both noticed, both of us, is that we were a lot more sluggish. We felt so unmotivated and tired, and we just didn't really want to do anything for the rest of the day. Almost just like we had no energy, and it really felt like we did have an energy spike pretty much as soon as we ate, but then it went down just so quickly. We both just felt like we couldn't be bothered to do anything. I had some chores that afternoon that I wanted to do around the house, just cleaning the kitchen and tidying up different rooms, but I felt just so, I don't know, almost like I couldn't even get myself up to do those things. And so I thought that was really interesting because that was a very big contrast to as to how I have felt when we've been eating this paleo diet, and we both noticed that as well. So very big deal. Once that initial energy that we got from the gluten kind of peaked and we got really tired after that, after it came back down, we actually both had a nap, which is so funny because we again haven't napped all month, and so it was just so obvious that it was from what we ate that day. And yeah, I don't know, it's just so crazy to see the difference. I remember in one of my vlogs a few weeks ago, I think it was the weekly vlog where we go Whole Food shopping, I remember that's when I started to talk about this little diet change that we were going to implement. And I remember my husband saying, oh, gluten doesn't affect us. And then I looked at him and I was like, well, we don't know if it affects us or not because we've been eating it all our lives. So it's been super interesting to just see this complete contrast, I guess, from eating gluten to not eating gluten. The other thing that we both noticed, and I'm not sure if this is a universal thing or if it's just us, and I'm a little bit nervous to say it actually, but we noticed that our digestion, oh my god, both of us noticed that our digestion changed. We were a lot more gassy. I don't know if I can say that. But yeah, we were just a lot more bloated and uncomfy in our bellies. So that was a really interesting change to watch happen as well, because we again haven't felt that way for the entire month. So I just thought that I would put this in here because it was really eye-opening when we did eat that and we saw the effects. Because we've not been eating gluten for about 3.5 weeks now, it was such a stark and obvious contrast when we did. So very interesting. But I just wanted to add that in because I think that contributes to, I guess, this overall challenge, and those sorts of things are exactly what I wanted to document along the way. Hello friends, we are in the first week of October, which means that our month of paleo eating and our little health challenge has officially ended. I cannot believe how quickly the month of September went. I don't know where the time has gone, but I wanted to just let you guys in on a few of our updates throughout the month. Obviously throughout the video you got them periodically, but I just thought I would do kind of like an overall recap to tell you how I think it went. A few of the notes that I have are things that I've already talked about on here. So this diet / lifestyle change really allowed me to feel full and satisfied after a meal. That was such a big takeaway, and I never thought that that level of satisfaction after you eat was even a thing until I tried eating this way, and so that was pretty surprising to me. I didn't even realize how unsatisfied I felt beforehand, and I can't really explain it any other way than that. Something else I will say about this little lifestyle change is that our grocery bill got considerably more expensive. I used to be able to get away with probably spending about $150 to $170 a week on groceries for 2 people, but for the past month I've been finding myself spending closer to $250, maybe even more. So from my experience it is more expensive, and that's just purely because we're eating more whole foods, more organic foods. Even things like nuts and that sort of thing, they can be quite expensive as well. So that is something that I noticed. However, with that said, the very next note that I have is that we are saving a lot of money on not eating out. So it very much balanced. We were probably saving $100 to $150 a week on not eating out. Sometimes before the month of September, if I couldn't be bothered cooking, Ezra would just go and buy dinner or lunch or something like that, and those things do add up, which is something that obviously I knew, but I guess I didn't really realize the extent of how expensive that is, I guess, eating out or ordering food. So that was very eye-opening. And yeah, if you're like us where you eat out pretty frequently, then in our experience it kind of balances out anyway, so I wouldn't be worried about the higher grocery bill. There is a quote that I love that I felt really kept me going through the times where I got really tough, or where I started having cravings, or where I was very headachy, and the quote is this: excuses make today easier but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today harder but tomorrow easier. easier. Sounds so cheesy, but I love that. And it's so true. I think focusing on your health and really just having the discipline to go and do a challenge like this or change your lifestyle in any way for the better, it can be really difficult, especially when it is not what you're used to. So I hope that if you try this, or if you try anything in life in general, I guess, that quote stands out to you too. Moving forward, how I think my husband and I are going to go about this is that we definitely want to eat mostly gluten-free and like 99% refined sugar-free. We just don't want to be so strict with it. And what I mean by that is that in my cooking at home, I will try my best to use gluten-free flours or gluten-free ingredients and no refined sugar at all when I'm cooking or baking. However, if we go to a friend's house and we're invited over for dinner, for example, I'm not going to be too fussy on what we can and can't eat, because at the end of the day, I think sharing a meal together means more than anything. We don't just eat for fueling our bodies. Sometimes we can eat for social purposes or to celebrate an occasion or anything like that. So if I, for instance, go to a party or an event, I'm not going to sit there and not have anything. I just won't cook with those sorts of ingredients at home. I'm also not going to be fussed about going out to cafes every now and then either and trying to go for like gluten-free and refined sugar-free things. I think, like I said, food is there for us to enjoy, and it really means a lot to me to have that relationship with food as well, I guess. However, we did just feel so good and yeah, just so incredible throughout the month that we definitely do want to continue this way of life, continue this way of eating. We both feel like we just have so much more energy now compared to the start of last month, and we are both truly just so grateful that we did this, because it was so eye-opening. If there was one term that I had to use to describe this whole experience, it would be that it was eye-opening. With all of that said, I think I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was so much fun to change our lives in this way. I really hope that you enjoyed observing throughout the month, and I hope that this inspired you to maybe change up some things in your life too if you feel a nudge, I guess, at all in any aspect. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!